Hey guys, Juli Rocks here, and in this video I'm just hanging out with my bunny outside. I have this whole station set up, so it includes a little ladder for my bunny and a nice big white table where I laid out all of my crap and I have a lot of stuff. I had to bring that all down and carry it all back up at the end and pack it away. But still, it's kind of nice to have a spot outside that I can work in for the summer. I'm probably not gonna stick around in the fall or winter since it rains and snows here. Like, this is Vancouver, so it can get kind of cold. In this video, I'm creating a piece using my Bic markers. So they're the Bic Market markers, and I believe I have 24 of them, and they're actually alcohol-based. So I haven't seen too many people work with these. They're just bullet nib permanent markers, and I believe they come in a set of 42 as well. This set of 24 I purchased from Walmart for like $8. So they're super duper affordable and accessible. Like, Walmarts are everywhere, so you could find them everywhere. And if you manage to get them during back to school time, you could probably get them on sale. So in this video, I'm going to draw a character. Her name is Miko, and she's from the Netflix original Nickelodeon show called Glitch Text. And I absolutely adore her character. I love her design. The show's all right. I wish it was less episodic and had more of an overarching story. But overall, like, it's something fun to play in the background. The pilot episode, amazing. It's been such a long time since I've seen a pilot that was so good for an animated series. The rest of the series kind of let me down just because I was so hyped from the pilot. Anyways, her design's incredible. Her vivid colors just made me really want to work with these Bic markers since I have all bright colors. I remember thinking like, oh shoot, what am I going to use for skin tone? But then I brushed it off. I was like, oh, I'll deal with it when I get there. The pose that I drew is one of the classic Sailor Moon type poses. So I'm using that pose, but I'm drawing Miko instead of Sailor Moon. Overall, it went surprisingly seamlessly. Like, usually, even just to get the base sketch down, it takes a decade. But in this case, it was pretty quick, and like, I surprisingly didn't have many issues with the hands, which was shocking. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this piece. I sketched out all of her main features first, and then I went in with my Sharpie pen, which also you can find at Walmart. It's like $2 for a pack of 2. Love the Sharpie pen, along with my Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen in size small, which I use for smaller details. That's always my go-to combination. I should probably stop mentioning it in these videos because I feel like I sound like a broken record or something. The markers I was a little nervous about because typically when working with bullet nibs, I struggle a lot. I don't find it enjoyable at all. And in this case, it wasn't as enjoyable. Like, working with a nice juicy brush tip marker is just a completely different experience. Like, nothing compares to that. So working with the bullet nib, it was all right. It wasn't difficult, it just wasn't as enjoyable. It's almost like, you know, when you test out like a high quality supply, it's kind of hard to go back to the lower quality ones because you know what it's like. But if you've never worked with brush tip markers before and you just want to get a feel for alcohol markers, like, I know there are a ton of budget marker sets out there, but this is probably the cheapest and most accessible one that you could find. And since it's August right now, if you're watching this in real time, then keep an eye out for those back to school deals for sure. So typically, once I'm done lining my work, I thicken the line work, and at this point, this is where I really pay attention to where my light source is coming from and where I want the shadows to be. So anything that's overlapping, anything else, or anything that would normally have a shadow, I would just make it thicker in those areas. And this makes for like dynamic line work, which I enjoy because before my line work was pretty simple, which some people do and then they make up for it in their coloring. But doing the line work is one of my favorite steps, just watching it come together. I feel like it adds so much life and energy to a piece, so I love that. Because I was limited in my colors with the Bic markers, and I also had a lot of darker colors, it was hard to color match exactly, but I feel like I got pretty close. For some of the colors, I had to layer them. For like the purple of her hair, for instance, I had to layer that with like a few different layers of blue first in order to get the right purple shade. But I feel like it worked out in the end, so I'm pretty satisfied about that. The colors didn't lay as flat as, say, a regular brush marker, but I didn't mind it. I know the point of alcohol markers is to get like nice flat colors, but you know, I feel like a bit of texture adds some personality, so I kind of like it. Overall, I'd say my favorite part of this piece is her pose and her hair. I really, really like how her hair turned out. At the end of this piece, I end up just shading some of her skin, and I think I went a little bit overboard here. It was just hard since I didn't have the right colors, but in retrospect, I probably just would have been like, screw it, I'm just gonna use watercolors for the skin tone, which I guess is what you would normally do if you didn't have the right colors. You would make up for it with another medium. At the end of this, I wanted to see if I could get a decent skin tone with these colors, so I actually ended up going over the skin, which I didn't film because it turned out super orange, and some of my ink work actually smudged on her face, so it just turned out to be a total disaster. But I'm glad that I took a minute, right when I just did the shading on the skin, to film that part, because I realized like, okay, if I botch this, then I'm gonna screw up this entire video. I won't be able to post it because it's just a total fail. But yeah, just be warned if you're using Bic markers in terms of skin tones, not many options there. Overall, I am fairly happy with this piece. It was kind of fun playing with alcohol markers because it's been a while, and you know, I love bargain supplies that actually work well, so Bic markers are definitely, like, I would recommend them totally, especially if alcohol markers is just something you want to dabble in. I know there are a few other options where you could pay more, get more markers, and it might come around to almost the same amount per marker, I don't know. But in this case, like $8 for 24, you cannot go wrong there. And keep in mind, this is $8 Canadian, so it's probably like $5 USD. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are an animation nut and you like exploring some new titles, then check out Glitch Text. Don't get your hopes up too high, but at least watch the pilot. It was so good. Like the comedic timing, the storyline, the intrigue, it was just so interesting. I believe there's going to be a season 2, so we'll see if season 2 is a little less episodic. And I hope it has more of a story. I think that would make it more interesting, so we'll see. If you have any questions about these Bic markers, about the show, about this art piece, about anything, feel free to mention it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Stay creative. Enjoy the sun if you're in a sunny place. And until next time, peace.